Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another What's Up Wednesday. It's a holiday week. Happy New Year, everybody. Can you believe this year is about over? Just days left. Hope Santa brought you everything you wanted. There's a few things left on my Lily list that I didn't get from Santa. So some of the best presents are the one you get yourself, right? Man, we got a cool show for you tonight. Really appreciate each and every one of you joining us tonight on this busy holiday season. Special guest night. He's going to join us from the green room in just a few minutes. But we've got a really unusual van guy with us tonight. And I think you're really going to be interested in what Art has to say. So he's out in Hillsboro, Oregon, where it's 32 degrees. And that's pretty cold for Oregon where he's at. So big show tonight. We got Libation Live. We're doing the world's favorite beer. Heineken is going to be part of Libation Live tonight. We're doing that at 40 minutes after the hour. We're doing our van tip, which has to do with a TV at the bottom of the hour, so you don't want to miss that. I'm coming at you from the great state of Florida, where it's endless summer. 75 degrees right now, going to be 65-ish tonight. I'd take a few more degrees in the coolness. Lake Worth, Florida. It's a little south of West Palm Beach. Let me zoom in here for you. And this is just such a great municipal pier. About 34,000 residents call Lake Worth home. We're just a little south of West Palm Beach. It's about 45 minutes north of Fort Lauderdale. And the municipal pier here is one of the famous landmarks in Lake Worth. It used to be called Lake Worth Beach, Florida. The pier was pretty much smashed from Hurricane Francis. It's been repaired after that hurricane in 2004. So that's where I'm coming at you from. I'm always curious where you're coming at you from. Last week we had South Korea in the house. How about that? Truly a global program. The week before that we had Israel. It's just over and over, just a great program from all over the place. So type in the comments. We're going to try and get to a number of you folks on where you are coming in from. And we've got a big group already tonight, which is so great during this busy season. So there's John from Texas, Jane from Illinois, where it's apparently winter, and Ron, good to see you, sir, upstate New York. This is great. San Francisco in the house. That's kind of cool. Thanks for being here. Appreciate that. Texas in the house. Awesome. And Sherry's out in North Carolina, and Mesa Mike's in Mesa. So just a pleasure to have each and every one of you. Again, we've got some really interesting stuff for you tonight. I'm really excited. Hey, if you're new to the show, my name's Scott. Welcome to my channel. Go small. That'd be the van. To live large, to go to crazy places like Hillsboro, Oregon, where I met our guest tonight, who's going to show up in just a minute. But if you like van tours, van places, that'd be a place to take your van, and van tips, you want to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a single video. And tonight, again, we have AJ coming on just a minute. Tip of the week. 30 minutes for Libation, 40 minutes after. Next week, we've got Rover Vans, builder of vans and accessories in Chicago. Peter's going to join us. Don't miss that. And let me zoom in here for you on this one so you can read some of the fine print. Our partner, Embassy RV, is on January 7. That's next Friday, a week from this Friday. They have a really special announcement. They have a new project called Project Bear Club, where you remodel a van RV. So if you have an old van that's got some wood in it, maybe you want to update the solar, the lithium, we'll do some of the cool Embassy innovations. This is where you want to take your van to Embassy RV. And Terry's going to teach a whole bunch about electrical stuff and some other things. So don't miss that at all. Channel events, you asked for it, we got it. We're going to be at the Super Show in January, 2 different meetups. We're going to do one on Friday. Let me zoom in here for you so you can see that. Friday the 21st, Saturday the 22nd, 11 a.m. at the Lazy Days Winnebago booth, 760. If you've been to the show before, you know exactly where that is. It's kind of in the way over the other corner from where the entrance is, so you get your step count in. Volta is going to join us for one or both. We're trying to nail that down for sure, but they have confirmed that he will be at least one. This is Jack Johnson and some of the team. So we got some Volta questions. You don't want to miss that. And I promised you some dates. Don't have them yet. Still trying to get this locked down, but we're doing a roundup at the movies, drive-in movies. Bring our vans, open the sliding door, have popcorn and a beverage, and watch the movie. So watch for dates on that. And, of course, live Q&A throughout the hour. This is all about you and your questions getting answered. And I am super pleased to bring into our studio tonight. This is Art from AJs 4x4 Vans. Art, thanks for joining us tonight.
How we doing?
We're doing great. Now, is that a virtual screen, sir? Or are you actually in the shop?
the shop's back there. The boys are not here; they're out and about. But the vans are there. At least 2 of the 6 we keep inside the shop that we work on at the same time.
Great. That is so great. Well, thanks again for carving out a little bit of time on a busy afternoon. I know you guys are counting down to the holidays, so maybe just introduce yourself. I would love to say how we met. Maybe if you can remember how we met. Did I stalk you in your shop?
Yes, you did. My name is Art Guerrero, and I'm one of the owners of AJs 4x4 Vans. Yes, Scott just walked through the door and introduced himself and told me what he does. And he was in town. I'm not sure what you were in town for, but yeah, came in here, we talked, and got invited and show you guys kind of what we do and, just be part of his show for today. And I thank you for inviting me. It's awesome, and appreciate it.
Yeah, well, it's just a delight to have you here. And, I'm getting my boldness on. I was in town doing some Volta brand work, some training, and saw his sign. I'm like, I got to, 4x4 Vans, got to check it out. So that was a few months ago, right? So maybe, we have questions from the audience. So get your questions coming in. So maybe, Art, just give us a little taste of what it is you do. Because people might be thinking you've built out vans with furniture and lithium systems and all this stuff, but that's not exactly what you do at this point. 4x4 is your specialty. Just tell us a little bit about what you do to help the questions for the audience.
Definitely. So we are a 4x4 van conversion shop. We deal with full-size Ford vans, full-size Chevy vans. We basically convert your van into four-wheel drive. We have our own bracket system that we do, was designed here by my brother, and now we basically put that system on every van we do.
Oh no, it worked perfectly up to that point. Maybe somebody pulled the cord. Oh my gosh. I'm sure he'll be back momentarily, folks. Stay tuned. And what he was kind of going off on, what they don't do is build out the vans. So what they do, and they don't really lift them specifically, but they build out transfer cases to make a true 4x4 out of the Econo line. Let me bring this back in so you can see the some of the rigs that they do. So these are very iconic Ford vans. These are not transit vans. These are, and the Chevy, gosh, I'm not sure what the Chevy ones are. But let me show you another picture here. I love this gray one. So cool, right? Oh, here he comes.
Can you hear me now?
There he is. Yep.
I lost connection in the shop, so now I'm on my phone, so I can walk around now. I can't quite hear you very good, but we'll make this work.
That's okay. We'll talk loud. Well, thank you. I was just kind of showing the folks a couple of bits of the vans that you have done. So maybe just kind of keep going and even show us, now that you're a bit mobile, some of the transfer cases, some of the really cool suspension stuff that makes it a 4x4 where it wasn't before.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time hearing you. Let me see if I can get the mic. See if I can get this mic up. We'll keep trying with the computer, but if I heard you right, I can just go. I go roaming here. You can see here.
Show and tell.
This is one of the axles. This is an axle that we obviously installed. It's a Dana 60 for those people that know, axles. It's a Dana 60 off an 05 to 2010 F250, F350. And these are the brackets that we designed here in-house, basically to hang the axle on the, on the Ford frame. In addition to that, we also build a custom track bar, our track bar bracket, which is this one here. It's one that, my brother designed. This is our new design. We've been doing it for the last probably 40 vans now. And so that's part of the way, or that's part of the conversion. Obviously, it's a front axle. We had to modify your transmission to convert it to four-wheel drive, custom drive lines. Once you do the conversion with us, we got to throw in a different bolt pattern wheels and tires. That's basically what we do. We convert the vans to four-wheel drive. New coil springs. Everything's new in the axle. For the rear, we gave a couple options of, custom leaf springs to get that 5-inch lift, 6-inch lift, or just a leveling block. So that's part of what we, part of our conversion. And then, obviously, it's got a manual transfer case, and that way you don't have any issues electrically wise. You can always manually shift to forward drive, and you can get out of any tight space you're in. So can you hear me? Can you hear me there, Scott?
Yep. Yeah, you're coming through loud and clear. I'll try and
Okay.
talk a little louder so you can hear what I'm saying. So super interesting, and I'm curious why the E series? Why? How did you land on that in particular? Was it customer demand? Because a lot of people think of vans in the RV space. I think of the Ford Transit, right? But this is a very different van. How did you get into the E series? And are these new vans or used vans? Tell us about that.
These are they actually stopped making the passenger E series van, the Econoline vans in 2014. So everything would be a used van. I know they do cutaway vans up to 2021 or 2022, but mainly we do the Fords, for the reason being that the frames are very identical to an F350, F250. The custom brackets we build are mimicking the style of how the mounts of the brackets would be on an F350. Only we're transferring to a van now. Everything else fits perfectly fine. Everything else fits fine. So it was just a good way to start. I'm gonna try to jump to the other computer real quick and see if we can make that work.
Yeah, no worries. Live, YouTube Live, ladies and gentlemen. We're just, whoa, let's see. Okay, so we're add him to the thing there. Let's remove you off of that one. All right, so there we go.
Sorry about that, guys. Technical
No
difficulties.
worries.
We're all good here.
It happens, man. It's happened. So we got some interesting questions coming in, and I had a couple of questions for you too. But John from John's got a question here for you. What's the time frame from start to finish for a conversion? That's a pretty good question. What kind of time frame should be somebody thinking about?
So, I mean, we need the van for 2 to 3 weeks. Typically, if it's a Ford, we need about 2 weeks for it. If it's a Chevy, we need about 3 to 4 weeks on it. It's just a little more work. 3 weeks, and then typically we're booked out a couple months in advance. Right now, we're building about 10 vans a month, so it all depends on the demand. But typically, about 2 months booked, and then we can get you in from start to finish, 2 to 3 weeks at the most.
And I will follow up on that by kind of early, but nonetheless, let's talk about it. Pricing. What kind of a pricing program are folks looking at with that kind of time frame, bringing in their own van?
So you bring your own van. Our full conversion, it's 15 grand. Won't include wheels, custom wheels and tires, or shocks. The reason being is there's so many you can choose from, and I couldn't keep you on a price range. I do build like a package deals where I can get you 35-inch tires, 17-inch wheels for right around 2 grand. Shocks, I mean, anywhere from 600 to 2 grand. They're kind of everywhere, but 15 grand will get you a full conversion, and then like I said, 2 grand will get you some wheels and tires for your rig.
That's so cool. And I show in the group while you went offline there for just a second, some of the vans. Maybe we'll bring them on in just a second so you can talk to those. But Sherry's got a good question that kind of leads into that. So, how are your customers using their 4x4 vans? Are they living in them, adventure trips, other things? So, yeah, what's the customer mindset on why would they want to do this? What are they doing with it once they have it out of your shop?
Yes, Sherry. Every category you just said, everybody uses it for everything. Adventure vans, camping. People live off them. People. Actually, this year I've had a few customers that basically sold their homes, and they're traveling now and working out of their home, which it's their van now. So we convert it. They're able to go camping. They're able to go in the snow, forest roads, the beach, you name it, they can do it. A lot of people. A particular customer picked up their van, and they're actually traveling to South America, and they're it's one that we have on our Instagram or website. It's a Chinook motorhomes. It's really, really cool build.
That's cool. I think I actually have a picture of that. Let me see if I can bring that up quick. Let me zoom in here. And it's this bad boy on the left. Is that right?
No. It's very similar. It's very similar. The Chinooks their bodies are their fiber bodies on their cabs, and then their fiber bodies. They're dual rear tire. And but yeah, that's actually a good example. Wow. That's Richards out of Southern California. He built that one for his daughter that lives up here in Portland. And funny thing, the van you see on my right side there, That's his. He came in here and we actually had it. We were going to build it for the shop, and he actually ended up buying it from us, and we're building it for himself now. So there you go.
That is so great. So, kind of along the same lines, I'm really interested. There's the storyteller Overland that are built on the Sprinter, the Winnebago Revel, same deal. A lot of energy going into the Transit all-wheel drive. What attracts people to this kind of a van versus kind of the mass market obvious vans?
Yeah, I mean, it's there's a customer base for everything. I think a lot of people grew up seeing these vans being converted, seeing these vans be part of their life in a way, and they've always wanted a 4x4 van. And the E-Series platform is great for everything you want to do in a van. I mean, these vans can really go into places where most bigger coaches won't be able to go into, and that's part of the reason most people or our customers decide to go on an E-Series way or Chevy Express. Very functional, just like driving an F250, F350 that's jacked up, and they're very useful.
Yeah, and I'll bring the pictures back on. So, like the gray one, super cool matte finish, right? With really nice
Yes.
juicy tires. It's got the top built in, so it looks like it probably could stand up in it. And it sounds it to me it says adventure van, but doesn't
Mhm.
scream look at me, right? Like some of these ones are so geared out. So it's really a
Yeah,
reflection of the owner's personality.
exactly. And I mean, I don't think you have any of the pictures that we have, but some of our customers, I mean, will purchase stuff like, let's say the one on the right screen, the high top. Customer purchased it. We build the rack to his needs. That's all he needed. He needed a place to put his spare tire and then be able to get up there and enjoy the view. So we build the custom rack on that one. We build the ladder, the side steps, and we convert it to 4-wheel drive. His interior is done on it, and that's a good example where our customers will bring their van in. Half of the time, we don't know what their objective is on it. Some build it like that. Some people use it for construction. It all depends. A lot of people. It all depends on what people want.
Yeah, for sure. That's why I think the vans. I was going to ask you about trends in the van
Yes.
space in general, but I think people have just discovered that vans are so. You can use them for so many different things: realtor office, construction office, like you mentioned. So you don't have to live in one to have a good time. But some good questions
I
coming in. So Sparks guy, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say yes. Yes, you're right. I think we have a second delay, but yeah, definitely, I agree.
Yeah, no worries. So Sparks guy has a good question here. Have you done any work on the vintage Econolines, either vans or those with beds?
Yes, we have vintage. When I think we did an 89, 87 that body style. Yes, we did a Falcon here not too long ago, and they had all the bells and whistles. It's like I believe it's a B class motorhome.
Wow, that's cool. This might take it back a minute. How about a Chinook by Toyota?
No, never done those before. They're cool. I grew up with those. We've never done a Chinook Tacoma yet.
Let's see. And Michael Clark's got a question here. Art, is it possible to do a conversion on a Ram ProMaster? I've checked in the past. No one's doing it this time. It's front wheel drive. Can you actually add a drivetrain to a van? That's kind of interesting. What do you think?
Yes, not that I know of, because of being front wheel drive. I don't know of a place that can do it that has done it. So unfortunately, I say no at this time because I have no knowledge on that.
Yeah, it's kind of a good bad thing on the ProMaster, right?
Yes.
Gives a little bit shorter to distance to the ground, which is kind of a good thing, bad thing, right? Good question here from Mike Ellis. Good to see you, sir. I think he's got an embassy that he's working on in
Yes.
his life. Can you convert a new 2022 E450 Cutaway? Interesting.
Yes, Mike, we can. It's basically the same frame. Yes, we can. Not a problem.
Short to the point. I love that. That's so great.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. So let me ask you this. So what trends are you seeing in the van business? Again, you are not really building out the interior, although that might be in the long term plan, but just focusing on the 4x4 itself, toughening up the exterior. again, I'll show you this. This is just a really sexy van, the beige one, right? But what trends are you seeing? Again, these adventure vans are really coming out of the woodwork, kind of across the board. But what are you seeing as a builder, a very special component to the system?
Well, I mean, the trends are, I mean, people want to be able to be free, you know, and you know, especially with this, what's going on in the world. I mean, they want to be able to grab their van and just take off, you know, and that's the biggest. A lot of people, a lot of new 4x4 van people, they want to be able to grab their van and just take their family out wherever, where, you know, they're all free, away from everybody. I see that, you know, that has been happening a lot. You know, if I guess I'm not answering the question correct, but that's the trend I'm seeing, where a lot of people want to be able to be free and just get on their van and go. And in order to do that, you know, half of the time, you know, these places, you got to have at least 4-wheel drive to get to places, you know.
Unless you're an urban cowboy like me, in which case I'm heading to the historic district to find the whiskey saloon. Jeez. I've had mine off-road a little bit. I'm out with alone and with the birds and the bears, and it's maybe I had some other people around. This is kind of a good one, and this is what I always think of when there's a 4x4 modification. So do you use Quigley running gear, or are you sourcing 4x4 components from elsewhere? What are your thoughts on that, Art?
Yes, so we're not using any Quigley running gear. We basically, the running gear we use is 05 to 2010 F250, F350, and we have our own brackets, kind of like Quigley does. They basically hang an axle with their, you know, their own brackets. And not sure up to what year Quigley stopped building the E-Series. I know they're not doing them anymore because I believe they only do brand new vehicles or real low mile vehicles. So the difference between Quigley and us is you can only fit a 32, 33 inch tire on it at most without rubbing. And ours, you know, we push the axle forward with our custom brackets, and you're allowed to put, you know, 35, 37 inch tire if need to. All of the components you can pick up, you know, at any auto parts, you know, other than an axle you can pick up from Ford. But the only thing we build custom is just our brackets.
That's so cool. And, you know, Sportsmobile kind of comes to mind with some of their big implementations. So that's a great question. Thanks, Sparks Guy. Donna's got a question for me here on my acrylic windows. I was looking off to see if I could pull it out without disrupting everything, and I can't. So, Donna, what I use is a window cleaner that was made for tinted windows, and it's safe for acrylic. And I do need to find a polish because the outsides have gotten some really hairline fine, I don't call them scratches, but it's just, you know, nothing really serious. So maybe we'll see if we can pose that, answer that better for you, down and even show it as tip of the week. So maybe we'll do that. But one of our first viewers, I think it's Karen out of Seattle, had a really complex vinyl acrylic window kit. So maybe we can track her down, find out what she used. She loved it. Let's see, Art, I had a kind of a funny question for you. What's your most crazy request from a customer so far?
Oh man, it's been a few, but we didn't do it.
It's always the art of no.
A customer wanted a bug out vehicle, so they wanted us to build. Other than, you know, they wanted us to convert it to 4-wheel drive and build a mound for his 50 cal up in his roof. So that never came through. We never did it. Yeah, would have been interesting. I also was asked if there was any, if we have any insight on a bulletproof van that we can convert, which we didn't. So unfortunately, we didn't get to build that crazy fun project.
That's funny. Those are special use case van implementations. That's pretty funny. So AJ, this is Frank and Sharon have a good question. How do they do in the snow? How do you add the mud, the sand? I'm not exactly sure where they're located, but Frank and Sharon, I think in Oregon too, right? I don't know. I've met them. They're a great couple. But anyway, question: how do they do in the snow, sand?
Frank, Sharon, they do great. Depends on where in the snow, totally fine. when you get to the sand, you just got to air down your pressure because you have a heavy van, but you air down a little bit. We use our personal vans in the sand dunes all the time here in Oregon, in Southern Oregon, and up here in Tillamook. So we do great. I mean, we pull our trailer with our motorcycles, and as long as you air down, you have no issues.
Yeah, it's kind of magic how if people are able to change their tire pressure, what that traction gives you, right? It's pretty amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And speaking of Frank and Sharon, I'm pretty sure this is the same. I kind of alluded to this last week, and Art, before we went on live here, we were talking about you enable people's dreams to come true boldly and brightly. And I just want to thank Frank and Sharon for sending me this amazing Christmas card. And what it kind of says on the inside is that, by being involved with Go Small, Live Large, hard to see, sorry, folks, but it basically says it kind of gave them by introducing us to Embassy, you've made a major change in our lives. Keep up the good work. So these kind of things warm my heart. And really, I'm going to get all misty-eyed here tonight. That's pretty bad. But how do people feel when they pick up their rig and you've literally given them a new chapter on life, maybe?
Yeah, it's awesome. That is the best part of our job. Delivering a van. Most of my customers, I mean, they have no idea. I mean, I guess they have an idea what they're getting, but just being able to see it live, I mean, it blows their mind. A lot of people, I mean, I've had them, I've grown guys, getting ready to cry because, I mean, this was their long life dream of building a 4x4 van.
Uh-oh. He'll be back. I'm 100% sure. He's talking loudly to his computer. So let's do this. This is the tip of the week. Let me share this with you. I just want to remind you, I've not posted a lot because I'm at home base. Oh, he's back already. This is great.
Sorry.
There he is.
Yes.
Yeah, no worries. No worries.
So, where was I? Yeah, so, I mean, some of these customers, their life, long life dream of having a 4x4 van for whatever reason, and it's awesome. It's awesome to be able to deliver a guy. And then my guys, especially my guys, like they work so hard to get their vans out of here. And then when they see the customer, I mean, it's very, very rewarding.
Yeah. And I just love how you keep that front and center with the team. Cause I think that's the magic of a craft builder like yourselves is you actually get to meet the customer. You get to understand their why, hear their stories. And I'm sure they send you all kinds of pictures of where they've taken their amazing 4x4 vans now. And that's, again, just part of the magic. And so thanks to all of you that have sent some really heartfelt thanks to me during the holidays. And we're just scratching the surface, Art. I don't know how you feel about it, but this is my third year in the van, and we're hitting the road here in a few weeks. For me, it just feels like we're still literally getting the journey on the way. Which, by the way, follow me on Instagram because are you guys on the Insta as well, Art? Should people follow you there?
Yes. We our main people that follow us are on Instagram. AJs 4x4 VANS. Follow us.
Pretty complex there. Okay. Just to remind folks, if you haven't seen this video, this was the most recent video. Boy, this has been kind of a beehive of activity. I'm not comparing my van necessarily to the Storyteller Overland super popular adventure van, right? But I'm comparing, sort of calling attention to 3 critical systems and how people really thought through those. So if you haven't seen that video, you want to see it. It's pretty compelling. This video, I keep pushing out, and it's actually going to post on Sunday evening. I'm moving videos being posted to Sunday evening now, so people can watch that. Remember, the old people like me will remember Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. That was the big thing with Walt Disney on Sunday nights. We'd sit around the TV as a family. So we're going to start doing those on Sunday nights. Vanagons, any thoughts, Art, on a Vanagon? Can you lift? Can you put a 4x4 on one of these bad boys? Oh, we lose him again. I think he froze. Oh dear. But there is. Okay, you're still with us?
I lost you. I don't know. We moved my computer to the shop, so for some reason having bad connection. I was trying to connect with my cell phone, but we're back. We're back.
You're back. That's cool. So let me.
What was the last question?
VW Vanagon. Are you able to work with those at all?
No, we've done a couple custom bumpers for them, but that's about it.
That's about it. Okay, it's a different animal altogether, right?
Yes, I love them. By the way,
That's cool. Yeah, they're super cool, right? That's what I was showing is the tour of the one next week. So here's our tip of the week. It's the bottom of the hour. AG, are you able to hang around for another till the end of the show? About another hang around for another half hour? That's
yeah,
cool.
that's fine.
Appreciate that, man.
If I can stay connected, I'll be here.
Okay, that's cool. We'll no worries. So this is our tip of the week. This comes from a viewer. Now I have to kind of explain what you're looking at here. Let me take a drink. We got Libation live in 10 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. So Art's got some really fine craft beer he's going to share with us.
Oh, yeah.
So in 10 minutes. So what you're looking at, ladies and gentlemen, is from the cab galley area, a Travado 59G floor plan. The owner, Terry, here in the Lake Worth, Florida area. Awesome guy, awesome family. He prefers his head against the wall where the refrigerator is. So you're looking at the back of the van. He took his TV out. It's now a wine cellar. I think that's what he did with it, if I remember right. And he mounted the same TV that was in his great room on the back of the cabinet that holds his clothing and whatever else he puts in there. And excuse me. And what he's been able to do is really have a really kind of immersive TV experience, repurposing that television. Now he gave me some what he did to do this. I don't remember off the top of my head, but you obviously can't retract that TV. It kind of hangs out there all the time when he's traveling. So we'd be curious about that. But if you're going to attend one of our roundups in the Florida Atlantic side area, maybe you can see that from Terry. But that's kind of the tip of the week, is just rethinking your TV experience. Some people have mounted a small TV on the refrigerator cabinet side. 59G has always had kind of a weird spot for the TV. And if you're into TVs, this might be something you may or may not have thought about. And check out his awesome deer shower curtain. It's pretty funny, right? So Terry, thank you for sharing that with us. I just love to see what people do with their vans. What do you think about this, Art, putting a TV in your van opposite what everybody else is doing? It's got to follow your dream, right? You know, right?
do what makes you happy, and then that works.
Yeah, actually, as long as not hurting anybody else, it's like, yep.
He probably did it because if he's outside, you can just flip it over and watch TV outside.
Never thought about that, but you're so right, especially in Florida, right?
Yeah.
So Matt wants to know if I'm in Florida. I am in Florida, here at home base for the next few weeks. So we're going to the Florida Tampa Super Show here shortly, so I'm super excited about that. What shows do you guys go to? Art, like there's a lot of venture van shows these days, and campouts and roundabouts and things like that.
There is. There's a lot of shows here. We haven't been to any shows, which we will change our ways for next year. We did go to SEMA. There was not very many vans out there, but we'll be going back to SEMA next year with our own product. We'll take one or two vans, and but yeah, next year we will be going to some of the nearby van expos and I guess get-togethers, kind of show our stuff.
Yeah, I think it's really fun to have people crawl through the rigs, right?
Definitely.
And especially things that I'm just bring this back on screen for folks, because again, you're doing something really different, which I just love. Crafters like you, chasing your passion. You used to be in the automotive service business, right? And you just chased your passion, and it's just so great. And to do something different like this, I think is so cool. So Sparks Guy's got an interesting question here. Let me bring that on. And what is your preferred wheel for an off-road van? Steel, magnesium, or some other alloy? Do this all compressed air systems for refilling tires? Interesting question.
Well, that's a good question. A lot of my customers, and I'm gonna throw the brand out there, they use Method wheels because they're designed to where they're able to lower their air pressure quite a bit, and then they have like the kind of like the bead-lock protection, so it won't dismount on you. So Method wheels are great for that. We also mainly use American Racing aluminum wheels. They're super durable and they're easy to clean, which is most people want just simple, plain Jane.
And sometimes simple is the best, right? Let's see. John's got a good question here. Are are they shocked at the change in gas mileage? So is there much of a change in gas mileage going 4x4 on these E-Series?
Not so. I mean, there is a change in gas mileage. Not so much because of the conversion. I mean, you are pushing, front axle, but mainly because of the bigger all-terrain, mud-terrain tires that we typically put on these vans. You do lose a few miles per gallon, a couple miles there.
Yeah, and I get asked this because I did lift my van, my ProMaster, not 4x4s, but it gave me about 3 inches of clearance. And I haven't noticed any change in mileage. I mean, I'm dragging around 8,600 pounds, 2 tons of van. So the only thing I notice is when I'm going uphill or there's a big old headwind. Other than that, I don't notice any change in mileage. So, and most people in vans, they kind of get it, right? You're not buying these to be efficient fuel sippers. That's what Priuses are for, or something like that, right?
Definitely.
People know their Prius, not to impugn what they're doing, right? Catmandu's got a good suggestion here. Or in case we have a technical issue, blink once for yes, 2 for no. That's pretty funny. Thank you.
Was I frozen?
You did freeze for a second. Yeah, you're okay now. Let's see. The folks are kind of chatting amongst themselves. So here's Rocco saying that he's got a 2013 E250 extended body with a turtle top. Maybe you can help us understand what a turtle top is.
It's a fiberglass. It's a fiberglass top, basically. I didn't know what a turtle top was until a couple of days ago. Somebody commented on our Instagram, and then I researched, and it was like a fiberglass bubble top, basically.
That's interesting. So you can stand up and get some clearance inside, right? It's kind of the idea behind that.
It's very, very similar to like the Chinooks and the like the one you were showing there. Very similar, like kind of like the B class motorhomes, basically.
So let's talk about the DIY is kind of a big thing with vans. So is somebody, you said parts are kind of available. You guys have some specialty elements there, but can somebody actually do a 4x4 installation on their own, or is that really best left to pros like yourselves?
Well, I mean, there's outfits out there that do sell, kits. At this time, we're not offering kits for sale. We do everything in-house. Not, in the future, we may have a kit available for the customers, because the reality of this is our brackets, our radius arm brackets, and our track bar bracket, and then everything else would just be instructions on how to install this and what you need and all that. Somebody with a little bit of mechanical knowledge can definitely get it done, but at this time we're not offering any kits at this time for sale.
And if somebody, Art, wants to have this service provided, they would need to come to Hillsboro, Oregon, which is the greater Portland, Oregon area.
Yes.
Yeah. Have to have like a dealer.
Yeah, so basically, I mean, most of our customers, I mean, we've been fortunate to have customers from basically all over the country, East Coast, West Coast, down south, Canada. They ship them here in the transporter, or they'll drive them and fly back.
That's a good idea. And you're booked out a couple months, I hear? It takes about...
Yeah, Yes, sorry, got disconnected there for a second. Yes, we're booked a couple months in advance, so I'm booking for the end of February at this time.
In February, so not too far away. Next week's January, so right?
Oh gosh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, right. So John's got a good question here. I drive by these all the time, and I just wonder what becomes of these cars and vans and in wrecking yards. Do a lot of your parts come from wrecking yards, which are perfectly good if they're not damaged, right?
If they haven't been hit, yeah. I actually I used to get all my parts from LKQ, which is a big outfit all over the country for wrecked vehicles and that kind of. Right now, I have a source that basically brings me all the axles. I buy them between 10 and 15 at a time, and then we basically gut them, have the housings sandblast, and redo everything's brand new on them.
So hyper refurbished, then some.
Refurbish would be the
technical term. That's really cool. Reuse, recycle, right? If you can, like new again. So Carl's got a question here. So Carl, apologize, you're having some issues with the sign up. I thought we rectified that, but I've not been putting out a newsletter. It's really a big task, and I just had other things to be focused on. So we are not doing a newsletter right now. Hope to initiate that next year in the new year. As always, I got more plans and ideas than I could possibly execute. So I'm gonna have to do something about that, including anyway. So be patient with me there, and I think you'd made a comment on one of the videos that we hope to see you in Florida at one of the movie drive-ins. I think you're on the Gulf side, right, Tampa side. So be sure and see us there. So thank you for that. Art, a question for you on. So somebody has a Sprinter that is not 4x4, like I think of a Rebel or a Storyteller, not off the lot 4x4, or even a Transit, which can do all-wheel drive. I'm not sure they're doing 4x4, but why have you not tackled that space? Is the E-Series just a real specialty that just has done really well for you?
Well, we definitely don't tackle Sprinters. I mean, just because there is 4x4 Sprinters already. We will be doing, this is something that most people don't know, but next year we will be offering a Transit 4x4 conversion. It will be a solid axle conversion, unlike the one they offer that's all-wheel drive. We'll be having basically the same platform as the ones you see back here, with a solid Dana 60 up front. So stay tuned for that. It should be we're prototyping stuff now.
That is so cool. I just love it. That is so great. Tell me, off-road, off-grid, adventure van, is there any real distinction in your customer's mind? Or are they all kind of the same thing, and the 4x4 allows them to do that more readily? Is there any distinction in your mind on the capabilities of the vehicles?
I mean, everybody wants to do the same thing. All the categories you just mentioned. I mean, we have them all. I mean, customers that like to travel in them, like to live in them, go in the woods, you name it. They're doing it. Definitely doing it.
Yeah, that's so great. Well, it is 42 minutes after the hour. You know what that means? That means it is Libation Live, and I've got a thirsty mouth. So I am kind of curious. So we just introduced this, Art, a few weeks ago.
Okay.
The reason being is that I have all these amazing tastes as I travel around. I just want to share those tastes with people. Excuse me. And even here at home base for a few weeks, there's a lot of tastes around here that we'll be sharing with the folks. So I think you brought your libation. I'm going to grab mine. Maybe you can share with the folks what your awesome craft beer is. Here, I'll get this off screen.
So my awesome favorite beer, Bud Light.
Bud Light, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
That is so amazing. I've actually been to where Budweiser Light is made in St. Louis, Missouri. I am doing this. This is my one of my favorite beers of all time. And
Nice.
let me show you. Here's my gratuitous picture, right? A little bit like Stella Artois, which is a Belgian beer, kind of a Pilsner style. Stella's only made two places, in Belgium and then in St. Louis. They've contracted with Budweiser. Heineken, on the other hand, is only made in Holland, and it's imported everywhere in the world, and that's why I think Heineken tastes like a Heineken anywhere you go. Except weirdly Holland, because they serve it at room temperature with this fancy little program. So, Art, I want to say cheers and thank you so much. Folks, get your libations
Let's
out.
open this one.
And I know, right? There's nothing cold than an ice cold Heineken, ladies and gentlemen. And this is going to sound really weird. Sometimes an occasional breakfast beer is in order. One of the best times to drink a ice cold Heineken is after you brushed and flossed your teeth, so your teeth's really clean, and you got a big old mouthful of really kind of any good beer, right? Or you just, and the sparkles just make. I'm weird. I live in a van, even when at home base. Let's see. Looking for a couple questions in here. What kind of van do you have? Yeah, I assume you have an adventure van. Is that a fair assumption?
Yes, I have a E350. It's an 09. Yeah, it's I don't have anything done in interior. Every time we go camping or go down to Baja, because I do that a lot, we keep mine's a long body, so I keep the last row seats, and then in the middle you can fit a nice big old air mattress, and in front of that I keep my diesel heater. So I'm good. And then I have a custom rack, so I throw everything on top and got plenty of room.
That's awesome. Does the wife and kids go with, or are you kind of going solo?
Oh no. I take the whole crew. I have a 4-year-old boy, a 10-year-old daughter, and my wife. So we go down there all the time,
Cool.
at least a couple times a year.
That's cool. If you're not familiar with, there's a YouTube channel, Chad and Paul, a couple that had a Travado that went storyteller. Now they're on their second storyteller. They just announced they're going to go to Baja. Is it pretty cool down there? I could actually be toyed into going to Baja. I don't want to go into Mexico and all the way down. That's a pretty big lift. I'm going to go to Europe. That's where I want to go. But what makes Baja special for you?
It's awesome. Baja's awesome. One, I was born there. I mean, I was brought up here when I was 5, so been here 30 some years now. But mom retired, she moved down there again, and it's awesome. I was just down in let's see, I was down in Mulegé, which is pretty far south of the southern part of Baja. It's amazing. The Virgin Beaches, it's awesome. Highly recommend it. Very, very safe. Super, super nice. A lot to see. I never thought the desert was that beautiful. And yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, it's just, it's one of the most amazing things about van life. And there was another van life channel that went off the air on YouTube, and he was making the distinction. I'm curious your thoughts on this. He was saying that van life means you're living in a van full time, and you probably don't have any other means of place to live. And for me, van life is just experiencing life more fully from a van. You don't need to be in it full time. You can take 2 or 3 day trips. You can just go tailgating, right? Do you ever get kind of wound up around the whole van life, Insta? Is it real or fake? And, what's van life mean to you?
Oh, van life is everything, man. It's awesome. I mean, the family, the what's it called, the van life people. I mean, they're kind of in the same boat in a way. Some people live in it. Some people just use it on the weekends. Some people just use it every few times a year. But it's awesome. I mean, you're free. You can wake up in a creek in the middle of nowhere. You can be on the beach. I mean, hotels are great, but until you can hear the waves, it's different. It's awesome. I mean, yeah, maybe for some people, they have to live in them, which is great. They're living it, man. I love it.
Yeah, I think it's so true. And this audience here is some known friends of the channel. And as they get their vans, it's been fun to, when we do these roundups, where we get together for a few hours, or we even do a caravan, drive a van, our vans from point to point, or even do a couple of campouts, and then sharing that experience together. There's just something so, what's the right word? Surreal for me about having a weather event while I'm in my van, whether it's wind or rain or even snow, and just smelling nature, feeling nature. It's very different than being in a house. I'm sure you've experienced that. Like we say, getting next to a creek and feeling the sand. Although I don't really want the sand in my van.
Yeah, there. Oh, you
it's hard
don't go to the beach. You stay away from the beach then.
Yeah, I know, right? And I don't want to get stuck. So Michael's got a good question here.
Yeah, go for it. Go ahead. I'll
excuse me. Speaking of sand, here's Mesa Mike. Hey Scott, I'm game for a caravan down to Baja for a Go Small Live Large camp out. Let's do it. Maybe Art can lead the way, because I would not even know where to start. It's south of Texas, I think, or something, or California. I'm not even sure. Yeah,
Michael, a lot of my customers have asked for the same thing. We will organize a caravan down to Baja for sure. It's been crazy here at the shop, so I haven't been able to plan it out, but I'll definitely plan something out where we can just head down and find a bunch of cool spots to hit for sure.
Yeah, I would love to go with somebody kind of knows the ropes a little bit. It certainly makes my job a little easier, and everybody's, right. Donald's got a good point here. Hey, if you're having a great day, hit that thumb up. If you're enjoying talking to Art of AJs 4x4 Vans and learning about van 4x4 conversions on E-Series, hit that thumb up. Sure. If you've had a bad day, hit the button twice. That would be great. That's kind of funny. Thank you, Donna, for remembering that. Let's see, a couple more questions for you, and we are just about the top. This hour flies by fast. It's just amazing. Excuse me. Are most of your customers, are they kind of trips, days, weeks, or how many are actually? You mentioned one living in the van. Are most folks kind of adventure van weekender type things?
Yeah, most of our, I mean, we have them all, but most of our customers are weekend adventures. Holiday weekends. They just want to get out of town. That for the for the most part. I do have a handful of customers that live, off their van, work off their van. So
Yeah, that's cool. And that's kind of where my thing started. I always wanted to do full time, but well, I wish you could lift a ProMaster. Maybe you can make a gazillion dollars by figuring that out. I don't know, but it's what kind of so the storyteller video we did. I was calling attention to the toilet in particular. So your customers, if you think about it, if you get into this conversation at all, what kind of plumbing around toilet are you finding most of your customers using? I'd be kind of curious if they're compost or because they don't have black tanks, right? So what kind of toilet systems?
it depends. I mean, we like the B class motorhomes. They have their own toilet with the black tanks. For the most part, our customers have the porta potty that you can easily hide under your sink or whatever. That's the one I've seen the most with our customers.
Porta potty. We poked a little bit of fun at the porta potty, so that's cool. John's got a good question here on warranty. So a lot of these vans are way off factory warranty, right? That's a safe assumption. And then what kind of warranty are you offering on your services?
So everything we do, and ever since we started our whole business, we do a 1-year warranty on everything we touch, basically. The 4x4 conversion has a 1-year warranty. I'm not quite sure what industry standard is, but I think that's pretty close. So it's a 1-year warranty, John, for what we do. And yeah, I mean, whether you're in the other side of the country, we go ahead and take care of that bill if something goes bad on it or whatever.
Yeah, that's cool. Appreciate that. Kathmandu's kind of got a question on the similar lines. On the E-Series van at this point in their life cycle, what's the most common problem-prone part? Rust?
Yeah, it all depends on what. Yeah, rust. If you're in the East Coast, rust for sure.
Chicago. Rust.
Yeah, Northeast, but yeah, I mean the bodies, transmissions. After a while, depends on what rig you have. The most common E series would be your 5.4. Transmissions, engines are great. Transmissions, after a few 100,000 miles, they'll need some love. And when we bring in a van, we remove the transmission and send it out to the tranny shop. They go through it, make sure everything looks good. If it doesn't look good, then I make the customer aware. Hey, the stuff is getting worn out. If it looks good, they put it together and convert it to 4-wheel drive. So weakest point, I would say the transmission. Depends on which engine you have, which transmission you have.
Yeah. What about gasoline versus diesel? What's your situation on that?
Ugh. Man, that's a hard one. I'm
4x4, right? But
yeah, it doesn't matter. If you have if you're building a 4x4 and you want to tow a lot and you want to, have a lot of power, a lot of torque, definitely a diesel or a V10. But if you're not going to be towing them very much, which I tow quite a bit, and I'm still fine with the V8, the 5.4 V8. I mean, it's been great for me. Had no issues. So I'm not going to be too. I like diesel myself. I've had diesel vans. I have a diesel van that I'm going to build for myself, but I don't know. It's just gasoline engines are so easy to work on, and anybody can work on them. Unlike diesels, there's a lot of shops that don't even touch diesels, so it becomes a little tough. They also don't break as often too. So.
That's funny. Some great questions tonight. I got a couple more for you on recommendations. We always like to get some recommendations from an authority like yourself, Art. So think of somebody that's a wannabe that wants to do something very different than the off-the-shelf guys, or even craft builders like Embassy, and they want to do something but along the line. So somebody in the want-to-be space, what kind of recommendations would you have if they're just starting their journey?
I say, well, buy a van, drive it, make sure let's see, like the space, find out what you're going to use it for. And if you want to, be able to go everywhere with it, definitely convert it. They do, people offer lifts for them as well. Not a bad option if you're not going to be using, in the sand, in the mud, in the snow. It's not a bad option. You can always do a limited slip rear axle and kind of be able to get to more places. But if you want to go all out, yeah, four-wheel drive it. But first, get a van and just drive the crap out of it, and you enjoy it.
Just get a feel for it. Maybe put a mattress in the back or some other little things just to make sure that this will help your situation. What about a newbie? So somebody's been on this journey and they've picked it up. This kind of goes for any van RVer, right? What might you recommend they do that first trip out with their newly installed 4x4 system? Go mountain climbing or try it in their driveway? I don't know. How do you think?
I definitely go mountain climbing. I mean, try to get to some gravel roads that are kind of, hard to get to if you didn't have four-wheel drive, for sure. If you got some sand, I'll definitely try that. That's always fun, the sand. If you have snow, even better.
So you kind of show them how to do it and help them kind of not get stuck, but just get a feel for the 4x4, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, every time we, when our customers when they fly in to pick up their vans, we try to take a trip out and just kind of show them around. We have a lot of areas here where we can just, get on gravel forest roads and stuff like that. Maybe some mud, test it out.
Yeah, just give a little feel for it. That's a great idea. I'm taking the customer, kind of hold them by hand that first time because it is a very different experience, probably, right?
Definitely.
And they're all.
I was going to say, for the new people, that are trying to get into the 4x4 van stuff or life or whatever you want to say, however you want to say it. The way a stock E-Series van or a Chevy rides, it's totally different the way they drive once they're converted. The main reason is being that putting a solid axle and bigger tires, you got a bigger footprint and you're real stable on the road. And the drive is completely different. The most common thing, it's a stock van, tends to wobble on the road, move from side to side. When we convert them, you got an F250, F350 axle, and the ride is way better and improved.
Yeah, that's I kind of the same experience with my lift. You sit up higher for sure, and there's a little more stiffness. And the first time you step in or out of the van with in my case, a lift or a 4x4, and all of a sudden those inches extra height reveal themselves and you about fall in or fall out of your van. So it's so we're coming up on the top of the hour. Just a couple more questions we want to get to. So Mike's got a good question here. Art, do you have any good stories about the test drive? We were just talking about that with the client. I don't know, maybe they got stuck. Any good 4x4 stories that you can share on the YouTube here without exposing anybody?
Oh, that's totally fine. Not too long ago, I mean, the rain started for us a couple months ago. So not too long ago, Nick, he's a customer out of Southern Oregon, or actually he's out of Corvallis, about an hour and a half from here. And he lives in Corvallis and lives in Canada, works for the forest. And we were out test driving his van. I think we changed the shocks on it, or we did something to his van. So we went out to the gravel to test out his van, and then we took a dirt road. And when we got to the end of the dirt road, we had to turn around, and we were in two-wheel drive, and we were stuck, So we had to go out in the mud, lock up his hubs, and then put it into four-wheel drive and get out of there. But there was mud all over the place, all over his van. Yeah, it was fun. But that's one story.
Yeah, he paid extra for that, right? That was the whole point.
Oh yeah, he did. We offered to power wash it, but he didn't want to. But.
No, that's a badge of honor, man. If you got mud all beside your van, that's like you see the trucks driving around some vans too. It's like I've been out off-roading. Look at me, right?
Yes.
So you just talked about this. So Spark Sky, are the front hubs manually locking, or do you need to engage those on a regular basis to keep them lubed or whatever?
You manually lock them. It is a good idea, if you're doing a lot of off-roading and doing a lot of, you getting into water and stuff like that. It is a good idea. I mean, they are sealed, but it is a good idea to service them, take them apart, clean out any water, re-grease them, every year or so, just to make sure it works when you need it. Because the reality is, if it sits there, you're not going to use it, and then when you're getting ready to use it, if it's all crudted inside there, you'll have an issue. But yeah, just regular service, super easy to service. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's cool. And maybe this is kind of the last question of the night. I'm not familiar with these vans, so I apologize. Whoops, right here. So Spark also wants to know, is there a difference between converting an E250, 350, 450?
Absolutely not. E250s, E350s, and E450s, they're completely identical when it comes to the size of the frame. The 450s have a bigger axle sometimes in the rear, but from the 250s to the 350s, they're identical. When you do an E150, which we have, the frames are a little bit thinner, a little bit smaller. They're not as heavier duty, but 250s, 350s, 450s, practically identical. Just the badges change.
Yeah, and the price tag new.
That too.
It's like the F-150, 250, 350, 450s. Oh my gosh. Well, folks, we are at the top of the hour. I'm just always amazed at how fast the week goes and how fast this hour goes. And Art, we just want to say a big thank you to you taking the time and giving the guys out the shop a couple hours off early so they weren't banging on stuff. But just really want to thank you for joining us and educating the audience on something that I personally was not very familiar with. And for being a gracious guest and for me just wandering in, snooping around your shop. Here we are a few months later. Pretty awesome. So just
Definitely
thank you.
awesome. Well, I thank you for having me. If your audience ever want to have any questions, just feel free to give us a call. I'm probably the one that answers the phone, so you'll be talking to me. And follow us on Instagram and check us out. AJs 4x4 Vans.
Yeah, it's really important. And now the audience is just a little bit smarter on this. If they know somebody looking to do something different, now they have a resource versus Googling something, right? I always prefer that versus doing a Google search. So again, thank you, everybody. And we will see you next week. Art, now you can take the rest of the day off.
Going to. Thank you so much.
My Heineken. So thank you, everybody. Have a happy week. Happy New Year. We'll see you next week.
Definitely.
Bye now.